Well, happy November. We're going to have a solo episode here today. It will be brief, but I had something I wanted to share with you. It's something I wrote and had published a while back about our inner critic, our gremlin. So just take a quick listen and, let me know what you think. All right. Imagine a scenario where you are the landlord and you have a tenant who has been living upstairs for as long as you can remember. This tenant is loud and opinionated and has, on many occasions, kept you up at night, unable to block out the noise. You've considered evicting them, but you always avoid confrontation instead. Besides, maybe the tenant is right. Maybe you are demanding too much. The tenant doesn't contribute at all to the environment you share and criticizes you anytime you try to make any improvement in your living conditions. They don't even pay rent. In fact, it costs you to have them stay in your home, and yet you let them stay. Now, you might be thinking, no way, I would never, ever put up with that. And yet, we do. So now imagine that you are the landlord, and the tenant is your inner critic. We all have one. In coaching, we call it a gremlin, an inner block that may present itself as a voice in your head, telling you that you aren't good enough, aren't ready, don't deserve success. You get the idea. So gremlins thrive on fear and creating feelings of inadequacy. They reside in your head and will stay upstairs until you acknowledge them for what they are and invite them downstairs, closer to your heart. Once recognized, it's natural to feel anger and blame towards your gremlins. However, I encourage you to look at it a different way. Gremlins are there for a purpose. They've been with you since you were born. They are part of you. It may help you to name your gremlin. Let's call this one Gail, which is actually a coaching acronym for inner blocks. Once you recognize how much Gail has been blocking your path to success, go ahead and invite her down and let her know that you understand the negative talk was intended once to protect you. Validate her for wanting to help and acknowledge that it may very well have helped before, but that you've got this now and don't need protecting. Maybe even offer her thanks. This is where inner blocks begin to be released and the foundation for a healthier relationship with your tenant begins. Create a new role for the gremlin, something with a positive energy. Rewrite her dialogue to something that serves you. You don't need her to move out. In her new role, she can help you move forward. Now imagine the next day, on your way to that audition or job interview, your tenant yells down to you and says, "You've got this." And when you get home that night, instead of hearing all the reasons you may have screwed up that day, she says, "Sleep well. You did a great job today." And you know what? You smile because you know in your heart that she is right. So, William Shakespeare said, "Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt." These gremlins are part of us. They are energy that can be repurposed, reassigned, rescripted, and used to help us. So go ahead and think about what new dialogue you might offer that voice in your head this week. You guys have a great week. It's going to be a tough one, but you got this. Until next week, stay healthy and remember to always live in the moment.